Hi. As you can see, the hair is that's in between at the moment. It's not going to stay like this. It's just in between stage before it goes fully green. One of the things I haven't done for quite a while is the music production. I haven't touched Ableton really for a while. I haven't really had the energy or the will to do anything with it, just not felt really that creative with it. Recently though, I come up with a plan. One of them is to turn this, a standard Apple keyboard, into an Ableton keyboard. So that goes from this to this. All it is a sticker kit, but hopefully it will get me back into using it a bit more as well. Now, I was very lucky to get given this by a colleague at work. Her husband's mother had a Mac with 2 keyboards and said to her, "Why do you need 2 keyboards?" She didn't know why she needed 2 keyboards, so before it'd be handy, can I please have one? She said, yeah, why not? It was filthy, covered in nicotine as they are, so I've had to clean it up first, which is the first thing you need to do. The other thing you need to do, it's a Bluetooth keyboard. So we need to disconnect or take out any batteries so that it doesn't affect the Mac if the Mac's still on. Now my Mac's on at the moment because I'm uploading one of my watch videos, which is what I'm spending most of my week doing. So first things first, take the batteries out. Now, I got bought from eBay, a set of these. This is a company called Miox, and these sell you, nicely packaged, a set of keys specifically for Ableton. And these just basically stick on over the normal keys. So it all looks pretty straightforward. If we have any difficulty placing them, we can use tweezers, but I don't think that's going to be necessary.
I've wrestled with angels all my life. It's always the halos and the wings that keep you blind. And if I'd fall with all the strength I held inside, I wouldn't be out here alone tonight.
Last one. And there you go. Okay, so that's that done. So to be fair, doesn't actually look too bad. You can buy editors keyboards which are fully designed to run with Ableton and many other programs, FL Studio, Photoshop and things like that. Same with these keys that you stick on. This company, these guys also do other stickers for other programs. The advantage of the stickers is obviously price. The editor's keyboards, really nice. They're backlit and they're a full size keyboard, which is more like this fella. They can run out at just over £100, about 160, 120 pounds, something like that. Now I will stick links below to those. I'll stick links to the stickers that I bought as well. I was lucky, as I said, I was donated a keyboard. They're not that expensive to buy on eBay though, so the sticker kit is about £10. The keyboards, if you buy a second-hand Bluetooth keyboard, you're probably looking at about £20 anyway. So £30 all in, not bad. And the idea of this being Bluetooth also is quite handy, is that I can then use the USB connections for the instruments and other devices and have the keyboard completely free to move around with me, with all the buttons and everything laid out with these stickers. So that's what I'm hoping to do, and then that will give me the encouragement to get back into and start doing a lot more with Ableton. So that's that done. I would definitely recommend using the tweezers. I said initially I wouldn't, but I think without the tweezers it was a little bit on the hard side, but it's come out okay. As you can see, the hair's done. It's not quite dry at the moment. It's a bit, I just washed it, so, but it's definitely different this time. Something I was looking for, something to make people jump and go, oh my god. So I think that's going to work. and I quite like the look of it actually. I will change it as always, I'm constantly changing it, and I will show you in these videos. Products will be listed below, which I used. As always, this is Crazy Colour Lime Green, and there's a little bit of frog in there as well. I haven't done much of the drone stuff recently, but fortunately I have been very lucky to get sent something to use as a comparison. So you know, this beast, the Phantom 3 Advanced, is in here. I have just been sent Spark Fly More Combo. I'm going to do a comparison video between the two. The whole point of having this is that I've been asked to do comparisons between an Advanced Phantom 3, which is the older style drones, and one of the new but the cheapest drone that DJI do. Does this compare to that, and would this replace the Phantom 3? It wouldn't replace the Phantom 4. The Phantom 4 is a much higher grade product, as is the Mavic, or Mavic Pro. But will this do everything you can do with the old drone and not lose too much? So that's going to come out and get compared soon. The problem is the weather at the moment. It's a Saturday, lovely day, but it's raining. So, which you expect this time of year. Something else I want to talk about, which is mentioned here a little bit earlier about getting the keys and the keyboards from eBay, is people who buy stuff from eBay and how people perceive what they buy on eBay. There's nothing wrong with eBay. I haven't got a problem with it at all. But there are some people out there who seem to don't use it as well as they could do. If you buy an item from eBay, in most cases you're buying a second-hand or used item. Second-hand or used items aren't going to come with the guarantee that you get if you bought it in a shop. If you buy something from eBay, it's normally not new. It's normally a second-hand item, 99% of the time. And it'll be an item that somebody has used. Sometimes you don't know. eBay doesn't tell you how old a product is. Nobody will actually officially say to you how long they've had that item. Some will try and tell you they've only had it for a few days or they've only used it a few times. But whatever way you buy it, you're buying a second-hand item, as opposed to going into a retail store and buying something new. If you go into a retail store and buy something new, you get a year's guarantee with it. Which means that at any point you can return to that shop and say, there's a problem with it, could I have it repaired or refunded, or could I have some form of rebate or whatever under the consumer law. Now I buy a lot of stuff from eBay, like the watches and stuff. Now I know these are used and I don't spend an awful lot of money, so I know that if they go wrong, to be honest, I can virtually throw them away, some of them. Some of them are more expensive than others. Luckily, they're not that often that these things do go wrong. I've had to throw a few away recently, but I sort of bought them very, very cheaply and I knew they might have gone wrong in the first place. And luckily, I just, as an example, this one I bought recently. I have reviewed it. The review hasn't been edited and put up yet. This actually didn't work when I got it. Luckily, the person who sent it to me refunded it, because it was on arrival, it wasn't working. But I have actually been able to review it before I stick it in the bin. But you can't do that on eBay 6 months down the line. And that's the problem. With eBay items, how much is it worth with no guarantee second hand? It's like buying a car with no MOT. It might not last you, it might die in 2 weeks' time. And if it does, you've got no comeback at all. So why would you spend an absolute fortune on something that you may just be throwing your money down the drain? And it's always worried me. I've looked at stuff on eBay, like the watches and other things, and I never buy them for more than about 30% of their original purchase price. Because there's no point, because if it goes wrong, you've lost that money. Whereas you go and buy it in a store, which I have bought store watches as well, and they've got guarantees. If anything goes wrong with any of those, I can just go back and they'll either replace it or repair it for me. I wanted to get a GoPro Session. The GoPro I've got is fine, but the sound's muffled because it's in the housing, so I thought I'd get a GoPro Session. The GoPro Hero Session 5 currently retails around the £160 mark. The Hero 4 Session, which is the older model, was around £150 when it was new. If you could find one in a retail store, you'd probably pay about 80 quid for it. Now the thing is, people on eBay are still selling them for silly amounts of money. And I don't get why people would buy an expensive second-hand old model of a camera with no guarantee. This is where an example where somebody's bought the older model for not much less than the brand new one. They could have gone to a shop, got a brand new one with the guarantee and the decent brand new up-to-date voice controlled model. Yet they've bought the old model, which is less specification, less megapixels, camera's not as good, less Doesn't make sense to me. GoPros are designed to be rough and roughly handled. So somebody else may have had this in the sea, they've had it strapped to the side of a motorbike, a helmet, strapped to the side of a car, done whatever they've done with it, used it or whatever, put it all back in the box and selling it as nearly new, whatever. It's not much cheaper than a brand spanking new one that you're the first person to own, the first person to touch. So this is an example. A few years ago I noticed this was of a watch that I was interested in. It's quite good looking. You see the price it goes for second hand. It says it is say as new, no scratches, no marks, stuff like that, but it's not new. Somebody else has had that on their wrist and somebody else has worn that, and as you know with a watch it's had somebody else's sweat, skin and all sorts underneath it. £51. If the person had bought it, looked online, shopped around, £59. So you could have bought a new one, untouched by anybody other than the people that made it, for £8 more. It doesn't make sense. There's great bargains to be had on eBay. I love eBay and I'll stick with eBay for buying, but just be aware of what you're buying and don't overpay